parts out. I'm pretty puny. I shouldn't be able to defeat a lock that easily.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess we didn't really hack it, but it was we were able to overcome the mechanical security of it.
Yeah.
How do you think we get in there? Careful, there's a. Okay.
This is already better than the tap lock, though.
Oh.
Ta-da!
We got that on film too. Was that it? That was it.
That was it, yeah.
So there was a single screw holding the door in place.
Yeah. So this is a gasketed door. It had some potting to make it a little extra secure. This is potted from the back as well, so they get a really nice seal around their connector.
It's interesting here, the USB, I thought that was for data and programming, but you can see behind it, there's only the 2 leads going down. That just means it's a power connection, which also means that this battery is likely a rechargeable one.
Right.
Oh, okay, nice.
And so this of course is all going to be plastic on the front because it's Bluetooth.
Right, so you have the window there. You have the grounding bezel for the fingerprint reader, which has to be metal. And then all their electronics on this board. They're using one IC for the Bluetooth communication and the image processing, which when we've created these in the past, we've had to do a 2-chip system just because of the the processing requirement demands for the fingerprint reader, which is essentially a camera. There's a lot of different kinds. Some more CMOS type that actually take an image. Others they use little capacitive arrays that read the fingerprint. In looking more closely at the fingerprint sensor, on the ribbon cable going to it, it has a small brand, Fingerprint Chip Maker. It says even with low power MCUs like Cortex M3s, the ML fingerprint algorithm can deliver a satisfying performance.
So yeah, what we've done in the past with fingerprint sensors is had to put big processing in them.
Right, because it's crunching huge image arrays and trying to resolve those against the known fingerprint pattern. But
boom!
So we took this apart.
We got it apart. How did we get it apart? From the top.
We used this and the hammer and the
boom and the
everything.
Bam.
Yeah, the drill. It was a lot, but it was all based on really one screw that kind of allowed the door to come out. We noticed the small branding on here it's a Shenzhen-based company that making the fingerprint sensors, and then we have all of the logic and communications on this tiny board. We have the Bluetooth antenna, this tiny lithium polymer battery. I was surprised to see this. The thing about rechargeable batteries is that as compared to primary batteries or non-rechargeable, their capacity is much lower. So, yeah.
I guess they just determined that with the non-rechargeable, the lock wouldn't last long enough. Right. Security-wise, you had to have this code to communicate with the lock, and it would not sort of talk to anything until it had that sort of encrypted code. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's full-on encryption. We didn't dive into that, but it is still more secure than the tap lock. Mm-hmm. And it was harder to get into than the tap lock. So rather than spend money on a tap lock, do consider this inexpensive and Chinese brand. The motor is really great. We did a video a while back on Planetary Gears. This is literally the cutest Planetary Gear system I've ever seen, and that's saying a lot. We've seen some very adorable things happening in Planetary Gears. The teeth are so small, we probably can't even get it on camera. Look at those teeny tiny teeth. The teeth are the same thickness as the grooves in my fingers.
The goal of the Planetary Gear is to change that high RPM motor into something that's lower RPM and much more torquey.
Right. And then that torquey motor pulls a steel latch here Then the shackle's on springs and sits in this bearing, and when that steel latch is pulled back, the shackle pops up.
I think the other note is just the way this is fabricated. It looks like they're milling this from 1 to 3 directions.
Yep.
So it's a pretty sophisticated process in there. Requires like, stopping the tool, flipping it over, running it again.
And if they wanted to make an even beastlier version, they could use different grades of aluminum or even steel if they had the time and the coolant.